What's up, boys? I got the Milwaukee jacket on, the work pants and the Volvo in the shot. You guys know what's going down. We're going to pick apart the Volvo today. I don't know if we'll do everything today, but I think at least half of it. Right now we're going to start wrenching on the car, get everything we need. I think at least we'll get the engine and everything that I kind of want from it out today, and then we'll see about the rest. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Just wanted to show you guys real quick because I went to a Biltema for a little I wanted some shit. So I got 3 of these organizers so that I can put parts that I want to save. I got these clamps for like fuel hoses and whatever, fuel lines, so you can take them off without fuel going everywhere. So that's really nice. They only had this size though. I would want like every size. Oh well. I also needed like 3 of these and 2 of these, but was kind of expensive just to get them separately. This was like $3 more and I got the whole set, so I got a whole set of these. Got some new jack stands because we're actually out. We're using every single one of them on the RV and the E39, so I had to get some more for when we take the gearbox and everything out. Magnet tray, and also this 3/8 10mm. These always go missing. So yeah, I'm going to put that shit in my toolbox. Then we're going to get the cart out, use this thing, and we'll start picking it apart. But I'll get back to you guys when I've sorted this out. Alright boys, I got it all figured out. We got all of the tooling we need to pull this engine out, pull all of the parts out, and yeah, we're just gonna go to town. I don't know how much of this I'll film, but I'll at least try and show you everything that I pulled from this, because I'm alone, don't have a guy filming for me, and it's kind of hard to do it, and my GoPro has been giving me issues lately, so yeah, I'm not using it. Fuck it. But I'll try and at least like put it up here so you can see some stuff. Let's do some shit. I got a great podcast in the headphones. Let's go, boys. So boys, we just finished pulling out the engine. That was actually like a couple of hours ago. I just ran out the battery in the camera and I decided to still work on it, so I had it up charging, and now we're basically done with the engine. It's here. Pretty crusty, but doesn't look like it's been leaking anywhere at least. Looks pretty nice though. Everything's intact and everything's ready to go in my 740. Basically, I removed everything from the engine bay that I do want to keep, so this is all done. My mate, he grabbed the fender, and also he grabbed these 2 doors, which are here right now. But yeah, I wanted those. Started picking the interior apart a bit. These cars, you don't really get too much for interior pieces and whatever, so I'm not removing too much of that. I haven't yet to post up an ad like that I'm parting out the car, so I don't know, I'm just removing all the stuff that I think is worth keeping and I think will sell. So I got like the gauge cluster out and everything. So we still have to do the fuel lines, the pumps, the filter, and the actual, like, I don't know what this thing's called. We call it tank armatur. I'm going to check out what that is translated into English and I'll write it right here. But yeah, we have to get that too, so I get all the fueling system to work with my 740. Then we're pretty much golden. Just push this thing out the shop, get in my 740 and start swapping it. Maybe we can begin with like cleaning up my engine bay. I know there's like a lot of vacuum shit and things that I want to remove so that it looks a bit better when I actually put that engine in. And we can remove a bunch of ignition stuff and etc, because I'm going to be running wasted spark and yeah, just a bunch of shit. So I think after tomorrow we'll just pull this out of the shop and bring mine in, let it sit for the night, get it all warm and cozy, and then we'll start wrenching on that. But everything's going really good. I've started to put some shit that I want to keep in like these boxes. I have some stuff right here and yeah, some stuff just laying all around. I think I got a pretty good organization now. Normally when I take out the engines it's such a shit show. This actually went rather good. Been saving up all of the bolts too, so I can send that off to get zinc plated. Because I've started to realize this too. Normally I just send away shit for zinc when I like pull something apart and then I need to get it zinced. But if I just save all like OEM bolts that I find, zinc plate them, then if I do something I'll already have all the zinc plated bolts. And as you guys know, I have and probably will own a bunch more Volvos, so that's just so nice. So I've been saving up like all of the OEM hardware that I can, so I can just send that off to zinc. It's so cheap anyway, and I'll have a bunch of nice hardware to use on shit. That seemed like a great idea. Kind of finished for this day. We'll continue tomorrow. We'll pick off the fuel line so that we can use it on my 740, because mine uses a mechanical fuel pump and does not have the return line as I've stated before, so we need that to make the injection swap. But other than that, we're pretty much done for today. But before I go, I wanted to say that having this tool cart has been really nice today working on the car. It was so much easier keeping everything organized and having all the tools ready, like just where I'm wrenching. And I'll see you guys in a second or two. Yo boys, I just finished pulling out all of the fuel system, or at least like the sender unit, the lines, the pumps, the filter, everything. I need a lift sometime. It's just too expensive to buy like a proper lift for the garage, but it would be so much easier to film shit like this than stuff underneath the car. Is just so hard to film. I thought I would show you guys what I did and how I did, so you guys know if you want to do this swap. But I took both of the fuel lines that go here, and then they ran under there, just freaking yanked it out. Under here the pump and the filter sits, because there's one pump under the car, and then it goes up to the fuel tank, and you have your door here. Right now I got a plastic glove over the tank so I don't smell up the garage. This wasn't too bad, to be honest with you guys. Like, I didn't bother to jack up the car that high, so I just got like maybe 40 centimeters of clearance here. But we got it done, and now I've taken everything that I actually need from the car. I've set everything here outside with the trash. So here's the fuel pump and sender unit, or the pump that's used to prime the system. This is the like primary fuel pump and the filter. Then I got both the return and the other line too. Hopefully it goes in kind of like a bolt-on application, but at least now we got everything that I want for my car. As soon as we're done with the rest of the shit, I think that'll be later today. It's only like 4 o'clock or something. We will pull it out, and then we can drive my car into the shop, start taking that engine out and preparing it for the ECU. Or maybe we'll have the extra time to polish up the engine bay, you know, and get rid of some stuff, so that'll be nice. I'll get back to you in a sec when we pick out the rest of the parts. And also, if before I even pull my 740 in here, I'd like to clean this fucking mess up. It's nice. Everything's gone. Leo actually got the harness out of the thing, but we had to pull a lot of shit, so there's like nothing left in the car. And here in the rear we have a lot of shit. So we are actually by now finished with this car. Fuck, I forgot to fucking take the cat out. Yeah, that's true. I just thought of this. I don't want to run a cat anyway, because we're gonna do launch control. But I need to save the cat though for inspections. If I have to register a car with that engine, I need the OEM exhaust, and basically I just need the cat from that. The rest of this car is the same. This just doesn't have a cat since it's too old and carbureted. Here's the engine harness, by the way. Freaking insane. So this is all of the harness. So yeah, this is kind of the bullshit part about pulling these ones out of 740s and 940s. If you do the Volvo 240 with a LH 2.4 system. They have a separate harness for the engine, so you don't really have to go through all of that shit. But Leo did, proud of him. He did great work. He needs then to separate the two to get only the engine harness to run it in his car. So if you want to put the LH 2.4 in your car, you really should take the wiring harness from a 240 88 up to 90 88B, so I guess in June or July of 88 up till 90, at least here in Sweden. But now I got my 740 in the shop. I took a little bit of time at least to wash off the floors, get rid of any oils and spills that I had. Then I washed off the 740, didn't even start. Shit carb, like when I tried to pull it in here, and I forgot that I had my window down when I washed it off. But I tried to give it as good of a wash as possible outside with minimal effort. So like sprayed the whole underbody, sprayed the engine bay, so we get it semi decently clean in here. What the fuck is this? Oh shit, this is Leo's. Wonder how that got there. This is what we're gonna do. So this engine, we need to get rid of the gearbox because I'm selling this one, or maybe keeping it for a spare, I don't know. These ones don't actually go too often, they last. This car has so little miles on it, and the gears are not scraping, it's all working good, so I think this gearbox will be good for a long time, so I'll probably just sell this one. Then I need to take the AC compressor off, the alternator and power steering pump, because if you can see here, the power steering pump is on the left side, I have it on the right side. I could just reroute it, but I think this kind of setup is a lot more nicer since you have shorter, I'm forgetting all the words boys, but you have shorter hoses when you have the power steering pump on this side. So I just think that this is the ultimate setup and I don't want to fuck around. So just going to replace those, so I'll take the alternator power steering pump of that engine, put it on this one. That should be about it for the engine really. So when we're removing this engine, I'm actually going to unbolt it from the gearbox and then just bring it out and use the original gearbox. Now the original gearbox doesn't have this cutout for the sensor, but that's alright because in most of the M47s this cutout is like almost cut out, or how you say it. If you take off the engine, you can just take a hammer and give it a good whack, and because they have left like very little material there, so it's easy to do. Otherwise we'll just take a fucking angle grinder to it. You don't need to be precise, you just need a hole so the thing fits really, doesn't matter if it's too large. I would like to say also that we could remove this, but I don't have a block off plate at the moment, and I'm thinking that maybe later we kind of rebuild the distributor to make it work as a cam sync for the engine management. In the beginning I'll just run Waste the Spark without cam sync, you know, so don't really need it, but I think it will be nice to have cam sync later. I just don't care at the moment. And yeah, I see why the car was not running now. I don't know why. This thing's unplugged, so I guess that's why the car didn't start. Then we have like a bunch of electronics, this shit, and a lot of random cables here that the previous owner put up. I mean, dude, this is so bad. Look at this. What did the previous owner do? He's a freaking mad lad, I tell you that. We call these sugar cubes in Sweden, and yeah, he's gotten up to some haggard fucking installations right here, so we'll need to get rid of all of that. All of the vacuum shit can go away too. Just clean up the engine bay a whole lot. I'm not painting this or sinking all of the shit, I'm just doing a quick and dirty engine swap. And I apologize for not filming everything, but it's kind of hard, and I've picked apart so many Volvos at this moment that it feels kind of boring to me. And low key, I kind of hate working on the messy shit. That's why I love working on my Evo, because everything's clean, there's no rust, no shit falling in your face, because I only drive it in the summer and the underbody is mint. This kind of and my fucking camera, since I don't have a daily right now, I'm borrowing a friend's car. Will be nice to have a car again. So I'm really stoked for this, and if you are too, leave a thumbs up. And I know I saw many of you guys writing in the comments on last video on suggestions what I should do when I put the engine in, like maybe I should put the turbo on it or whatever. I already have a turbo car, but I want to keep it a little secret. The boys on Patreon already know, they have known for ages, but I've got something cool in store at least. Dude, I'm going to hype this up too much, but I think like, I'm just gonna say this, like the part I have for it is like the coolest part you can have on an NA engine. Like if you're about shit, you know what I have. Anyway, no turb ski here. Just gets too hot when fucking sliding in the winter, you know, I want to bounce off limiter all day. If you want to check out the Instagram or Patreon, as usual, you have links here down below. Find out the great information before everybody else. And other than that, I wish you all a great, happy day. Have a good one, boys. Bye.
Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true, but the